Welcome to another episode, everyone. Big Meech. He has his first interview since he was released from prison. You know, as you may know, he received a 30-year sentence in prison and went to the feds. And he details his life in prison during all of that time, and it was indeed hell because prison is hell. Check this out. He's talking to Icewear Vizo. This is Icewear Vizo, the rapper. Apparently he has a podcast. And I listen to his music all the time in my truck, Icewear Vizo. But that's him. And it's Big Meech. I don't know who this other guy is. Let's get into it.
Say no in a heartbeat. The best thing that ever happened to me.
Because you might not be you.
I wouldn't have learned a lot of shit. I wouldn't have grew mentally. I wouldn't have understood a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? What it is to be a real man. You heard I was still moving like a kid, moving like a shorty, thinking shit sweet, not understanding how these people work. And it took for me to go to the feds to even become more strategic with how I move and more disciplined. Because one thing about the feds, both of y'all know that the feds is political and disciplined. Yeah. Certain shit not flying in the feds. Niggas gotta go up top 30 days for not having a paperwork. A nigga not walking no certain yard at all whatsoever if that work ain't straight, for one. And a nigga can't put that on no nigga without having no proof. And a nigga that put that on a nigga, he got to go up top for saying that. You can't even say that in the Fed.
And guess what? If y'all don't send them up top, then we gonna send the whole car up top. We gonna run all y'all up.
All y'all got to go. Because y'all let this nigga put this allegation on. You can't do that in the Feds. And that shit.
Well, that's not just the feds. That's really anywhere that you can't do that. I've spoke about that many times here on the channel, that if you put a snitch allegation on someone and you don't have the proof that this individual snitched, or it turns out that this individual did not snitch, etc., then you're done. You're cooked. You lose your life. That's how the game works. I just spoke about this a few days ago. So it's not just in the feds. And then, as I've also said, that if you go to a particular car, a particular section, faction, and ask them to remove an individual from the yard for one infraction or another, and they do not, that whole car is then in jeopardy. That whole car can be attacked for not removing that one individual from the yard. And that's what Big Meech was just referring to. But what Icewear Vizo was just alluding to, the structure inside of the federal prison, well, it's really the same. I don't know how the federal prison system works. I've done over 30 years of incarceration in the state system in California. And I know there that what he just described certainly applies there as well in the maximum security state penitentiary, that you must have your paperwork. And then if you put an allegation on someone, a snitch allegation, chomo allegation, whatever, you need to be able to prove it, or you're putting your life in jeopardy. So this eliminates people going around just with an ulterior motive, putting jackets on individuals.
Showed me so much structure, and I implemented that discipline and that structure that I learned being in the feds. I implemented that shit in my everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I did most of my time out west.
Yeah.
Out west and in the northwest, heavy politics.
They ever had you in the USP?
Yeah.
Oh, ain't nothing.
Lewisburg.
You was in Lewisburg?
I was in USP.
That shit's so fucking political, ain't it?
Yeah.
You was in the Smooth program?
I was in the Smooth program. When it was 18
How
months.
long they had you in the Smooth?
2 years.
Get the fuck out of here.
I did 3 total. I did 9 months waiting to go in the hole, in the shoe. And then I did 2 more years in 23 and 1.
They put niggas in a Smooth program that they feel like got too much influence. How that shit?
Right.
Ain't that way?
It's
like got too much influence on the yards.
I'm gonna tell you the criteria what they used to say. I was in Atlanta shoe in 2011 when I crashed. I crashed with the DC dudes over at Jessup. But my influence was so strong on that yard that they told me and they asked me, my right-hand man was Big Fry from West Palm Beach. He like 350 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So the incident we had with the DC dudes, it really wasn't an incident with me and them per se, because we both have respect for each other.
Yeah.
I respect the DC crowd, they respect me and my people. But it was a dude that was from Miami/New York. Basically, they wanted to beat him up and do some things to him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they knew that him and I was kind of on the outs.
Mm-hmm.
But again, just like the one situation I had just told you about, I couldn't see letting them do nothing to him.
Facts, because he under the
So
car.
when they swung on him and Fry got in the middle of it, I told him, get your shoes on. We was out on the back. Get your shoes on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Put his shoes on because he was waiting to play volleyball next. I had to put my shoes on. We go in the gym. He swung on the first DC nigga. He seen, and like 3 or 4 of them rushed.
Yeah.
So I started slanging niggas off of him. So it was like one of my mans from New York, one of my mans from Savannah, and me was the ones that was really fighting. You know? But it was no cameras in the gym. And
Yeah, it ain't.
And then we had the door. So the DC dudes couldn't get out without us leaving.
Mm.
So it was a 5-minute move, just so happened. But when we finished fighting, Fry was like, "Nah, finish it." I'm like, "Fuck no, I'm going to get my knife." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because these niggas ain't gonna play fair.
Not DC niggas.
So we all racing down the sidewalk, walking as fast as we can, to try to get back to the unit. I got a couple of dudes I'm cool with in my unit. Like, they like, "Damn, Meech, what's up?" I'm like, "Man, hold up." Go get my shit. So I get my shit, then pull up on them like, "Man, your man's number was on some bullshit." But long story short, they black boxed me and Fry. They asked me, "Did you want them to go the opposite way of you or with you?"
Well, for one, should have already had your shoes on. Him and his boy, his cohort, he said they both had to put their shoes on and head to the gym and start attacking the first DC individuals that they seen. And then he had to race back to get his knife. Should have already had your knife, especially since it's kicking off in the gym or wherever it was kicking off at. So should have had your shoes on, should have had your knife, could have said, because you could have been in trouble without both of those things. Just so happened he survived it.
I said, "Dog, send him with me." So we go to they black boxers, didn't tell the region or nobody, and shot us straight up to Atlanta. 4-hour trip. When we got there, of course, I had my way. So I had a cell phone.
Yeah.
In the shoe. So I'm talking to my people. I have, man, look up SMU Lewisburg. My mama called crying.
Yeah.
She was crying. Every woman in my life at that time was crying when they talked to me. "Oh my God, why they sending you there? What they sending you there for?" Because it said the SMOOTH program is for the most violent, disruptive inmates in the FBOP.
That's just another word for most influential.
Yeah, that's what they saying. So it's lawsuits though on it. It's lawsuits on it where the police done killed motherfuckers. Because they throwing motherfuckers down the stairs and shit. You got black box handcuffs on behind you.
You can't catch yourself.
Yeah.
You got it behind you, so you can't break the fall on your face or nothing. And however bad you are, you the worst of the worst, they put you on the third. Because it's blind. Lewisburg is one of the oldest prisons next to Atlanta. So it's blind spots. You know what I'm saying?
Camera can't see.
Right.
I feel like they do that shit on purpose. They make sure they got some blind spots in there.
Oh, yeah. And then, but we gotta, not saying that anyone is deserving of that kind of treatment, but like, that's like ordering your food. That's like cussing out the person in the drive-thru that gotta fix your food. They gotta make your food,
yeah.
So why you gonna, you gonna cuss the CO out when every time you leave out this cell, you gotta put your handcuffs on. And he gotta bring your tray, the food and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They cut the water off in 5 minutes. You got to shower in 5 minutes.
I've been to the shoe. I know how that
and they tell you cuff up, and you don't cuff up, they're gassing you.
I know exactly how that shoe works.
So that, like, I had to do that for 2 years. I did phase 1 and 2 at Lewisburg, and I did phase 3 or 4 at Florence, Colorado, USP.
But what the fuck was the SMOOTH program? Like, they said that shit the worst shit ever.
They disbanded it now. It don't work.
So it's over with.
Yeah, ain't no more. They changed.
So Hoover ain't in the shoe.
No, he got off. He was in ADX.
He was in ADX. That's what I'm thinking about. ADX.
So now that he got the pardon, he should be somewhere in the state.
Got it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he got to still get a government He needed a special pardon, which is called a governmental pardon.
Right.
And they're referring to Larry Hoover because Vizzo just said, so Hoover's, yeah. But he said they dismantled that program. Apparently it's like the SHU program in the States, Security Housing Unit, where they lock you up there and you're there forever, and it's a prison inside of a prison. Many people had to work in California to overturn these systems that they had in place. So apparently they did the same thing there in the feds. Good for them, because those systems are torturous.
That's a pardon from the governor and a pardon from the president. So he got the pardon from the president, but he ain't have a pardon from the governor right now. He get that, he home.
What's one of the craziest days you've seen in there? Like, man, this shit, wow.
The craziest day, you know what? The craziest time I seen in there is when them people start getting, when K2 wasn't K2 no more.
Oh,
when it
man,
became
that
Tunchi.
You seen niggas have an episode of
What?
Tunchi, bro?
What?
Nigga, I watched a nigga fight a trash can in that motherfucker, bro.
I see the devil.
Yes,
Niggas
nigga.
scream, running around naked.
Man,
and all
them
kind of
episodes,
shit. Like,
hey, little, bro, them episodes off the Tunchi.
And with the K2, that I swear Vizzo is referring to as the Tunchi. K2, that's that stuff that I've played videos, reactions with individuals there in prison, smoking that stuff, put it in a little paper, light it up. Some synthetic type stuff is horrible. And these individuals start hallucinating and going crazy and fighting themselves and biting themselves and swimming in filthy water, hallucinating, going crazy off this stuff. So that's what they were asking Big Meech about, like, what was your worst experience in there? He started talking about that, those individuals that are in there off of that stuff that are just constantly going crazy. Don't touch that stuff. On the streets or in prison, leave that stuff alone.
That shit is real.
Man,
that
a
shit ain't
motherfucker,
no game, man.
Man,
I done
listen,
seen
standing
niggas
up
completely
rocking
lose
like
they
this. Standing up rocking.
You know me, leaning up
You
and
like,
everything.
man, what the fuck? Like, that shit was weird as hell, man. Like, some real weirdo shit.
We ain't let none of our homies smoke the Tunchi.
Man,
we
we
ain't
was
really
beating
like
them up,
that.
putting them at the door.
Yeah.
We had a CO. When I could hit my first low at Forest City, Arkansas, we had a CO lady. She was like, listen, I don't mess with y'all drugs. I don't mess with y'all phones. I'm not going to have nobody fuck our count up. So if you know somebody that smoked that shit and they fucked the count up, she said, y'all could do what y'all want to them, just don't kill them. But put him at the front door, and I'll make sure SIS don't fuck with y'all or none of that.
Yeah.
Miss Dillon, we got one to go.
Oh, so she basically like the tune, only thing gonna fuck this bid up. I ain't trying to see no episodes. None of that shit.
None of that shit.
Yeah.
Don't mess my count up.
Yeah.
So in my unit, there was probably one Mexican dude that smoked the Tunchi that can handle it.
Right.
Lay
No,
back.
I knew a couple niggas that can
He
handle
lay
it.
back
Yeah.
on his bunk and can handle it. And when I got to Forest City, like 2 people had died already. So they was taking it serious, but it was crazy. I seen 2 deaths. Then before I left, it was 2 more deaths.
Damn.
You know.
So the I ain't know that. I ain't know like the Tunchi and the K2 is basically
different.
2 different things. I thought
different.
K2. I thought Tunchi was just a nickname for the
Nah, it's not.
for the K2.
The thing is that people start putting anything on that paper. And
Spraying
you can
that
tell,
bitch
but
with any
dudes
rap
start
poison.
swimming on the floor and licking they throw up. That's one of the famous moves. And I used to take we used to video record them and be like, look,
Show a nigga.
like I ain't used to using a drug that I can't do in front of a woman. Like
Right.
I can't, we could drink, we could smoke some weed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't.
Y'all
I
had
don't-
white lightning in that motherfucker.
What?
That white lightning
Man,
was
I
that
was
shit.
the king of white lightning, man.
that shit.
I was the king.
My nigga Blood from Bounty Hunters, man. Shout out to B-Thing, man. My nigga Blood from the Hunters out of LA, bro. That nigga was the coldest nigga with the white lightning, man.
Man, listen. I used
White lightning is a form of alcohol, is a form of liquor. You know, they make Pruno and then turn that into straight alcohol. It's clear, it's white. Why they call it white lightning. It looks sort of whitish, but clearish, whitish, and it looks just like vodka or whatever. It looks just like alcohol, smells like it, extremely strong. You get a cup of it. It's very expensive there in prison. But then it gets you loaded like it's pure alcohol that some of these individuals in there know how to make. And they make it extremely strong, sell it for a lot of money, and those dudes get on the yard, drink that stuff, and they're cooked.
Man, that's what helped me pass a good time in that motherfucker.
That white lightning.
And then it got to where, they really don't like you to drink because, a lot of dudes can't handle it.
Yeah.
And they get on the CO.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so a couple of officers been killed behind dudes getting drunk and all that type of stuff. So they really don't, that's something that they don't really like, okay. But one thing about me, I think I was known for drinking and known for getting everybody around me drunk.
Yeah.
But I kept everybody in line.
Yeah.
You gotta understand that's something that I'm just used to doing. Like, nigga, don't start acting crazy because you got a little liquor on you, else you ain't never drinking with me no more. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about, I got to Coleman. I came home October 15, 2024. I got to Coleman, Florida to the low in February around the Super Bowl time. And I stayed there from February to October. I probably spent like 70,000 on White Lightning.
On White Lightning.
On White Lightning. Getting the majority of my unit fucked up.
Yeah.
So he whipping up the White Lightning looking for you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Meech, you know what's crazy? I ain't feel like I was in jail till I went to the shoe.
Yeah.
I ain't feel like I was in jail until I went to the shoe. That's when I felt like I was in jail.
Like I was on Bill I.
But see, I was in a low though. You know what I'm saying? I was in a satellite.
That's why.
Y'all niggas was in motherfucking USPs and mediums and shit.
Listen, when that door locked, you in prison, man.
Yeah.
When that door locked, you can't go out there and get you no ice. None of that shit. When you gotta tell your cellie cover up, cause you finna use the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know you in prison.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You trying to spray.
They blowing the room.
Yeah, that's the only time I had it.
flushing.
That's the only time a door locked on me.
You know what I'm
was
saying?
in
Like
the shoe.
that.
I was in pain and like that.
Yeah, so when you behind that door, man, that's a whole different monster. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to have a cellie that you can actually be it with.
Be it with and trust.
So I wasn't taking any.
So I'm assuming that he was saying that it didn't feel like he was in prison until he hit the SHU program, which again is Security Housing Unit, the whole, because basically he was in Camp Snoopy before then. He wasn't in a very serious situation. So maybe it almost felt like home. I don't see how, but it just didn't seem like a violent, serious prison. I get that. But, Meech, on the other hand, said, no, you still are going to know that you're in prison just because your basic freedoms are gone. Even if the prison is not that harsh, your basic freedoms are gone. It's a constant reminder that you're being dehumanized and that you're now just a number. It's a constant reminder of that. But, of course, once you hit the hole, or the SHU program, you're really going to know that you're incarcerated, that you're in for it, that you're in a serious situation, that you're doing time, because times are about to get hard there in the hole. You rarely come out of your cell. You're cuffed up every time you do leave your cell. You have very small portions of food, very little clothing and shelter. It's horrific. And so you're going to immediately be hit with a dose of reality that your freedom is gone and that you're now in here and you have to adjust.
Sally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I never told nobody as far as administration that I was a Crip.
Yeah.
But I was on gang time.
Yeah.
And that's why niggas even love and respected me more. Like, damn, dude on
Meech
gang
still
time.
on gang
Yeah,
time,
I'm on
nigga.
gang time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's rules and it's politics. And I like that heavy politics. And I know that we ain't no hot motherfuckers in our car.
Facts.
You see, some people harbor motherfuckers because they got money. Oh, he got money, so we ain't trying to let nobody
Or a nigga
know.
use, you know what's crazy, right? Like I'm a real Muslim. Like I'm a real Muslim. I've been Muslim way before I even got indicted. Like I've been Muslim. You know, and I take my deen serious. Like, you know what I mean? My wife Muslim, my kids Muslim, right? But when I got to jail, I was on Detroit time because it just felt like a lot of niggas was running with the Muslims for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they can go by their attribute instead of their name. So we can't pull that work.
Yeah, the imam used to always talk shit to me, bro.
Because all is forgiven.
You gotta choose what you want a deen, you want a dunya, or hey, look, bro, it is what it is.
Right.
Niggas got bad names. I can't be in this bitch on Muslim time. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna do what I gotta do.
You got child molesters and everything.
Everything.
Muslim time.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Man, you been in that bitch. Man, you was in that motherfucker for what? 18, 22?
A dub.
20.
You did a dub straight?
I went in 37, came out 57.
God damn. That's a long motherfucking time. Man, when my stupid ass got out of jail, bro, I posted my motherfucking paperwork on the internet. My Uncle Cat called me and say, nephew, what the fuck is you doing? I say, what you talking about? Like, man, take that stupid ass shit off your Instagram. I'm like, shit, man, I'm just letting niggas know. You know, they say any nigga hot. When you got a name, you turned up, you automatically hot. Before I even went to jail, niggas thought I had a case I didn't even have. I ain't got no co-defense. I got a stupid ass gun case. You heard? Niggas saying a nigga hot before I even got there. I immediately had my paperwork. Ooh, wow. So when I get out of jail though, right, I post my paperwork. My uncle say, bro, take that shit down. I'm like, what's the problem? You know what he told me? He say, nephew, you did 18 punk ass months. I did 20 years. You don't even got the right to say whether you hot or not.
Yeah, that's
fuck is you talking about? I swear to God, my Uncle Cat told me that shit. I swear to God, man.
That's less than me.
Shout out to the dog, man.
And he right, you know, because, you know, a lot of, man, I'm telling you, when you've been locked up them 20 years, let me tell you something that go on. And this is personal. You got a lot of people that may have like life sentences or 50, 60 years in that motherfucker. Like my man Mike Nitty, you know, shout out to Mike Nitty. He had 55 years. No violence. He don't got life, but he don't got 20 either. He got 55
years for non-violent case.
Non-violent drug case.
He ain't got back yet?
No, they ain't gave him nothing.
God damn.
Listen, you got people. And like, even with me having 30 and some lifers that I ran into first that was showing me how to be it, man, that's a hurting feeling when you getting ready to transfer to another yard or you finna go home. Cause they look at you like family and they done got so, you have some lifers that like to be standoffish because they don't want to be too used to because they gonna hate to see you go. You know what I'm saying? They really gonna hate to see you go. Like, damn, man, you going home and we've been being together. And I ain't never going home.
Yeah, damn.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't nothing like what was going on now to where you got hope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was in the jail. Every nigga had it out there.
Yeah, you got hope now. You know what I'm saying? But back then, just learning how to be it and seeing dudes that felt like they were never getting out and that was kind of old men or older men at the time. Man, that's a hurt feeling, man, when you can't tell them motherfucker nothing but that you praying for them.
Man.
And that's all you got.
Not to cut you off, you had a man's in there like, yo, Ace Boone Coon, like, damn, bro, I'm gone, bro.
I had a, you know, not so much at the lowest level, but at the low, I got a partner named Chico. He did time. He started out with my brother. He from Orlando, Florida. And Chico got 38 years. Chico drove up here from Orlando, Florida, met a Colombian on Telegraph, I think, on Telegraph. The Colombian was supposed to have 10 bricks at 11,000 a brick. Chico had 11,000 on it, enough money for one. That's all the feds needed to lock him in. It's some money. He could have had $1,000. As long as he had some money, because the feds can't front no work. So that's why if you in the game and you really know like, oh, these Colombians coming, they're gonna drop a bag on me. Okay, as long as they don't ask you for no money. Because now when you start doing business with money, that's when you can run into the feds.
Well, yeah, of course. Just same as if a murder for hire or something. Once the money exchanges hands, then that's when they get you. But okay, this is Big Meech of the Black Mafia family speaking about his prison experience. He did 20 years. As he said, he came home in October of 2024, been home for a year and a half. Stay free. He's been staying free. Apparently been successful. As far as from what I can see, he's sort of been off of the radar, made a little noise when he first came home. People were speaking on it, doing content, etc. Had a little beef going with 50 Cent and all of that, but since then, it seems like he's been pretty low key. Who knows what he has cooking behind the scenes, but he doesn't seem to be out there. And prison will do that to you, slow you down, calm you down, particularly once you feel like you have another chance at life, because he had 30 years, even though he did 20. That's a long time from 37 years old to 57 years old. Those are a lot of your good years gone now. So now he's pushing 60 and trying to get his life back together. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. Hopefully we all go through things and then learn our lessons and turn our lives around, because we only get so many chances and none of us are getting any younger. But there it is. Some of the same politics that they have in the feds, clearly they also have in the states. They're one and the same. It's just prison. That would be one of the stronger ones. That obviously, if you're a snitch, if your paperwork is not good, you have to go. But likewise, if someone says that you are a snitch and they cannot prove it, or they are lying on you deliberately, all of this has happened, then they are in trouble and they have to go. That's on the street and are in prison. That rule remains the same. You can't put, because a snitch jacket, of course, can get someone killed. So if you put a jacket on someone that can get someone killed and that individual is not a snitch, then that is what is supposed to happen to you for putting a jacket on them, and it could have happened to them. That's how the rule has always exercised itself, but nevertheless, things are different now and watered down. But I understand Icewear Vizzo there saying that, he learned a lot from prison and incorporated some of the discipline that he learned there in the feds into his daily life here on the street. Prison is really just a microcosm of the street and the street politics. And so it makes sense that an individual will travel with him from prison some of the morals and ethics that he learned in there. That may sound like an oxymoron, someone developing a moral compass there in prison, but it is not. It happens all of the time, actually. Shout out to Big Meech and Icewear Vizzo and the other individual there. And hopefully we all can learn something from our past trials and tribulations, our past mistakes, that we all can stay free and be successful. But once you do 20 years in prison, you're certainly thinking about your freedom. You want to maintain your freedom, and you appreciate your freedom after doing 20 years in prison. I don't care who you are. You learn to appreciate your prison. Of course, the recidivism rate is still high. Many people return to prison after having been paroled and went through much misery and only to return. Yes. But you have many individuals who, getting out of prison after serving a long time, the time itself is a deterrent from them to commit any more crimes and return to prison. Having been in there for that long, how much more time does one have? He's 60 years old. He got another 10 years in him? Another 20? No. I'm 52 years old. I did an 11-year bid one time. I got another 11 in me? No. No way. So it comes a point, and it just gets to the time when you say enough is enough, you try to turn your life around. I don't know what Big Meech is out here doing, but he's staying free. He appears to be out of the way. And there you have it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Big Meech, first interview. Went through a few things there in prison. Had to go through the SHU program. Got into it with some DC dudes. He was respected, said he went to Lewisburg. And apparently had a drinking problem in there. I mean, said he spent $70,000 in a matter of months on alcohol for himself and others in there. That's a lot. That's a lot of alcohol. That's a lot of money. I mean, alcohol costs in there, but not that much. Shakes, but he said that's how he was getting through his time and coping. I get that too. People try to survive the best way they can once you're there in prison. Stay safe and stay free, people.